Hi all, welcome to our another session of PYQ discussion. Currently we are dealing with our child development and pedagogy and discussing the previous year questions from chapter 2, that is principles of child development. We already discussed 1 to 5 questions in earlier classes. So next we are moved to our next question number 6. So the question number 6 is, a teacher finds that a student is facing difficulty in drawing a square. He assumes that this student would also find it difficult to draw a diamond. He applies which of the following principles to arrive at his assumption? So the question is related to a teacher assumption relating to a child ability or a difficulty faced by a child. That is the first thing. Is the teacher finds that the student is facing difficulty in drawing a square, and also he assumes that this student would also find too difficult to draw a diamond. Okay, so then she applies which of the following principles to arrive his assumption? So the question is, the assumption of the teacher is related to which among the following principles of development? The options are, first one, option A, development is gradual, development is different for different people, development tends to follow an orderly sequence, development is saltatory. Okay, so I give 10 seconds to find out the answer. Try yourself. Okay, let's see the answer. Here the correct answer is option A, that is development is gradual. Development is a gradual process. So here, why we assume development is a gradual process? Here the question is, the student facing difficulty in drawing a square, and also the student will also find it difficult to draw a diamond. We know that the development take place in different manner or differently for different people. For example, when we look into a mathematics classroom, we observe that we already observed that some students are complete mathematical problems, or some students are draw mathematical figures very fastly as compared to other students in our classroom. We know that some students are slow learners, some students are fast learners. So this all things happens due to this principle, that is development is a gradual process. Okay, gradually the child learn how to draw the square, and gradually the child learn how to draw the diamond. Okay, first time the child face little difficulty to draw the particular things or to study or draw anything. Okay, then after practices, the child learn to draw the diamond, the square, etc. So that is the reason here the development is a gradual process. Okay, the explanation is also given there. The development is considered as gradual, which means it happens step by step over time, not in a sudden leaps. Okay, that's the point. The child is not able to draw a diamond, or here the example is drawing diamond or square, so that is why I'm told about that particular context. If we ask to draw a square, the child is not childs are not able to draw that particular square in a very fastly, because in a gradual practices he attained the ability to draw a square. So that is the reason we consider development is a gradual process, and it also a step by step process over time, not in sudden leaps. That means which would be saltatory. For example, the child learns first to crawl, then the child learns stand. After the child learn to stand, then he starts to walk, then rather than jumping directly from lying down to walking. So the all developmental things happens gradually in a child. So our last question, question number 7. The systematic presentation of concepts may be related with which of the following principle of development? Okay, here the important point is systematic presentation of concept. So this systematic presentation of concepts is related with which of the following principle of development? First option, development leads to growth. Development proceeds from heteronomy to autonomy. That is not promotes. This is spelling mistake is there. I'm sorry. That development proceeds from heteronomy to autonomy. Students develop at different rates. Development is relatively orderly. So don't get confused with these options. Clearly analyze the question first. Okay, here the systematic presentation of concept may be related with which of the following principle of development? So I give 10 seconds, try to and find out the answer. Okay, let's see the answer. The correct answer is option D, that is development is relatively orderly. What is the reason? The phrase systematic presentation of concept connects to the idea that development happens in a predictable, sequential and organized manner. Okay, what do you mean by systematic presentation of concept? For example, the concept we take a concept and we present the particular concept in a systematic way. The word systematic implies that predictable, sequential and organized manner. Okay, one stage building on the other. This is exactly what the principle development is relatively orderly states. So this is the reason development is relatively orderly, that is systematic presentation of concept. We present the particular concept in a order manner, that is simple to complex, or main points or simple points to more complex explanation. So systematic presentation of concept follows the principle of relative development is relatively orderly. Okay, so there is a we should follow a particular order to present the concepts. Okay, or present the concept. So that is called the systematic presentation of concept. So these are the some important previous year questions asked from this chapter, and the important areas are principle of child development. You need to study all the principles of child development and corresponding their examples is very important. Okay, factors influencing child development, that is internal factors are there, external factors are there. So these are the some important areas in chapter 2, principles of child development. So always while you're studying, give importance to examples. Okay, examples is very important because by studying with the help of examples, the concepts was become very clear. Okay, always study the topics with the use of or with the help of examples. So these are the important areas, questions and areas from the chapter 2. Hope you understand the session, and also hope you understand the questions and their answers. If do you have any doubt, you can put into chat comment box. Okay, thank you.